How's it going? Oh, Fire Wolf Biter McWild out in here, aka Moondog. However, some of you know me by Jedi. And that's how it is, man. I'm just gonna have a smoke here, and I'll finish a smoke while I roll a smoke, and just talk a moment or two. While we're at it. A little sweetgrass. Smells good. Does you good to burn some sweetgrass or some sage or whatever else you like the smell of, you know. It's therapeutic. Stimulates the senses, wakens the mind. So I've been on TikTok recently. I remember when it first came out, I was on it for about a week. And a couple people suggested that I check it out. You know, since it had been so long, since I had been on it. And I did. So, again, man, I want to say greetings to the family. Whoop whoop to those that it applies to. LLH&R to those who knows what that means. Even to those who don't know what it means. Love, loyalty, honor, respect. These are things that you just treat everybody like, you know. See, wisdom, respect, loyalty, and the root of these things, man. You know, like there's false love. You know, some people, they don't understand fully, or let's just say that it would be good for them to understand love more. Maybe they don't understand. They have an incomplete understanding, and maybe it's even wrong. You know, like maybe love isn't just something that you feel, but it's an action that you show, or maybe even an inaction. But anyway, I'm just saying, respect one another, respect yourself, respect the planet, you know, respect life, you know. It's so precious, man. You know, when you're laying on your deathbed, or you get some terrible news from a doctor about yourself or a loved one, you know how precious life is then. Maybe you realize you take it for granted some. And this is the burden of existence in part for me, is because I know I'm overwhelmed with the burden of existence. I can't believe And I've looked at this from many different perspectives. I've tried to believe, but I can't believe that all this is arbitrary. That's the word I want to use. I don't care that we share so much of a percentage of DNA with another animal. And, you know, I mean, in a sense, I do believe that we're related to everything, in a sense. But to just think that this is all by chance and there's no afterlife and that it's... I can't believe that, man, you know? Like, you know, people talk about how it takes, you know, like, how can you believe in a creator? I mean, because let's talk about the difference between creator and God. Many people make a God out of one thing or another. And so, yeah, I do believe in other gods. I believe that there are many gods, hundreds of thousands of gods, perhaps. But I don't also equate that to creation, you know, like, I believe that there's one creator. But I don't know, though, you know? I mean, there are certain ideas that I believe, and I try to live those out. You know what I'm saying? I try to, you know, a lot of people, they say they believe something, but, you know, maybe you've heard somebody talk about their belief in loyalty and brotherhood, but yet they're dishonest, they betray, they're not loyal even to their brothers that they call brothers, you know. So how do you know if they believe in love, loyalty, honor, and respect? How do you know if they believe it? They say that they do, but how do you know if they do? Because it appears that they're trying to live those concepts out. I mean, if you say you believe that, but you're full of treachery, then obviously the fruit of your existence speaks to what you truly believe. It's a witness to what you believe. And man, I've been, you know, I gotta tell you, man, I've been faced with some decisions lately that have really tested my belief systems. And when I say lately, I mean I guess lately, you know, I don't know. A month, 2 months, 6 months. So, and in some ways, I don't think that I've been doing as well as I could be. Sometimes I find that I'm living in a romantic fantasy land, or my expectations, or the way that I view life is through this romantic lens. And I'm not talking about human-to-human romance, or I'm talking about, I mean, everything. You could romanticize an organization, a career, a relationship. I think many people do this, and that's why so many families get broken up, I think, because in some cases there's this romantic idea. And, of course, it's not reality. And so they're going from one situation, one relationship to the next, whether that's jobs or whatever it is, hobbies, it never meets their expectations. And growing up the way that I did, with some of the issues that I dealt with, one of the things that I did was I would look to Hollywood for guidance when it comes to social cues and some of these other things. But in doing so, I also bought in to the lie that says life is a movie, but I guess it depends on the types of movies that you watch, man. Because what are movies but stories that have archetypes in them, and then you identify with the archetype. In some way, I mean, that's what was appealing to some about boy bands or girl bands, is it had an archetype for each. It fulfilled the, what am I trying to say here? It's like in the movies, man. Like, let's look at Jumanji, the new one, even though I haven't seen it. You've got the jock, the comedian, I don't know, is there a beautiful, a dame in there, like, I don't know, some beautiful chick, nerdy chick. I don't know, Scooby-Doo was kind of that way too, man, Had the dorky guy, the smart guy, the nerdy chick, and then the pretty girl, Daphne and Velma. And then, so anyway, man, what I'm trying to say is, I think that a lot of the problems that we're encountering today are a result of the propaganda machine. And bottom line is this: you're born into it. You're given a government name, a government number. You're automatic. Of course, you're going to be on a spectrum when it comes to economic class and education and all this other stuff, but it's more than just being on the spectrum. There's these ideas that are floated your way, how they teach you, telling you what to think, not how to think. A lot of people know why 2 + 2 is 4, or at least they think they know. Let's just say they know that the answer is 4, but they don't really understand why it's 4. Simple example. You might think it's pretty easy, the idea of 2 + 2 being 4. But if you think about it, it could take you an eternity to count from 1 to 2, much less 2 to 4. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, are you counting by whole numbers? 1, 2, 3? Are you going 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2? Or are you going 0.0001, 0.0002? You see? We need to be humble. not so arrogant. Knowledge doesn't equate to truth, we'll say. You can have a lot of knowledge about gossip, one thing or the other, but none of it's true. It's just gossip and rumors. But yet, your head can be filled with them. It goes that way with anything else, man. I mean, think about something like people who try to tell the future using tea leaves or something. They might know hours and hours and hours worth of lecture material regarding that topic. You understand? But if none of it's true, then what difference does it make? How much you know? And so, the system will push theories on you, I mean, think about Darwinism. When did that start being taught? And why do people treat it as fact? I mean, some people treat it like a religion, and they'll scoff at somebody who says that they believe that Yeshua or Jesus was the Son of God. That came to die for our sins. I mean, they don't even understand that idea. I mean, a lot of people, and not that I fully understand it, but there's a difference between sin, iniquity, and transgression. And sometimes people, I think they miscategorize, But anyway, they'll scoff at that idea, or they'll ridicule somebody for believing in Scientology, we'll say. Or people that are just religious and spiritual in general. Yet they're acting the same way. They're framing their world in the same manner. It might look a little bit different because what they're using to help frame their existence is different. So one might say it's all a religious and spiritual experience. Even, look at politics. There are people that are way more passionate. They're like zealots, man. They're way more dangerous than a religious fanatic in some cases. But hey, it goes both ways, man. There's a biblical parable, right? So I could make up a story, and I could say there was a man who loved a woman, but the woman was far away. And the man was so lonely that all he could do was think about how to find his way to this woman. You might be able to relate to that story. It might not be an actual story like that it really happened, but there are truths that are in that story that are eternal. And so I don't know if this would count as a parable, but maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe it would count as a metaphor. I think that's it. But there's a biblical metaphor, we'll say, that says you're criticizing this person here that's in front of you about a speck that they have in their eye. And maybe we'll so pause, and maybe we'll say this, because I'm not really sure what it means, a beam and a speck, but maybe it's misunderstanding or unclear vision based off of deception or wrongdoing, we'll say. Imperfection. Maybe that's what we'll call it. And so, unpause. So you're being criticized, you're criticizing this person that's in front of you about the speck in their eye while they have a beam in their own eye. Okay, a beam, right? Let's think about a speck being like a speck of sawdust, right? Sawdust was part of a bigger picture, right? You see it and it's all by itself. It's just a little, but it was once a part of something much, much bigger. And so this is the biblical metaphor that came to me. And when I say it came to me, I mean that I was just reflecting on the criticisms that I would hear from different people about other people. So groups of people criticizing one another. We're superior, and here's why. Our way of existence is being oppressed, or is about to be oppressed, and we need to stand up, and here's how we're going to do it, and here's how it should be done, and back and forth. It's really noisy. And then this story popped into my head. About criticizing somebody for a speck in their eye while you have a beam in your own. So, trying to figure out how to live things out properly, man. Not be overcome with resentment or bitterness or despair. So fearful, man. You know? You're attacking other people if they're not wearing the proper attire. So much fear in the world today, man. So, I guess I'll end it with this, man. I've got some other videos that I'm editing. I'm really gonna try not to edit this hardly at all. I'm gonna, whatever I can do, accomplish on my phone, because I'm behind, and if I get up there on the computer, man, you know, it's not gonna happen. And so I want to get this up tonight. There's some other things I need to do as far as my physical fitness is concerned. And this past 2 weeks have been kind of fucking slow, man. Because I've been a bitch because it's been so fucking hot out. When it's 94 and it feels like it's 109, if you're able, your ass should be out there, man, sucking it up, at least for a little bit, just to keep yourself disciplined in managing uncomfortable situations. And I will say that I have not been totally worthless, but not near as productive as I would have liked to have been. And some other things I'd like to do, man, that I'm frustrated that I can't do. One of them is read music. I'm really pissed off about it. And me teaching myself doesn't seem to be going very well for some reason. I realized that I need to step my game up when it comes to my musical discipline, we'll say. So I'm trying to become that fucking guy, man, that has his shit together and can contend and grapple with life properly. And that, you know, ain't gonna stab you in the back when you fucking need him to be there for you. I am going to be that fucking guy, right? If I'm 1 fucking percent or 5%, 0.5%, fucking whatever, man, then I'm gonna be that. I had a dream about this. I talked to Dibber about it in an email, and one of my other buddies, Kevin, recently. What's up, Kevin, if you see this? There's a dream, man, about finding yourself in a very wrong situation. But it's popular even though that it's wrong. And in this dream, I left even though there was a ton of peer pressure. And as I left, I saw somebody else that was leaving too. And the moral of that dream is that even if you think you're the only one doing right, still do it, even if you're the minority. And you'll start bumping into other people that are doing the same thing. And then together, you'll be really strong. You know? Divided, we're weak. United, we're strong. Think about that. Now, think about where that might come from, who it could benefit, why they would want a people divided. And when you hear somebody talking about this, think about whose voice. It's not their voice. It's the spirit of this thing that's driving them to divide. That's the voice. It's not theirs. It's something else. Remember that shit, man. We got to be wise about things. We got to make sure that we're understanding things correctly so that we're not deceived. All right. 29 minutes, 38, 40 seconds, 42, 43, 44. Okay. I could do that all the way 30, but I'm not. We got a T-minus 10 thing situation going on. 10 seconds. All right, shit, man. All right. Stay well. I try to keep this under 30 minutes or just a little over. Some more videos to come. I hope you're doing well, man. Keep a level head during this whole situation, right? Create chaos, divide. Think about that. Versus keep your composure and stay united. Think about the two options. Chaotic division, strong unity, orderly unity. Yeah. Don't lose hope, man.